030133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145 and in Germany 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
Turning and turning in the widening jar. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity.
Moderation, oh yes, moderation there. Moderation, oh yes, moderation there. The people them a ball, moderation there. Tomorrow will be gone, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. I live from east to west, moderation there. I move from north to south, moderation there. So everywhere I go, moderation there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. People them a ball, moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. I live from east to west, moderation there. I move from north to south, moderation there. So everywhere I go, moderation.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the first day of the 9th month of the 2021, the first day of the 9th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year for Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the first day of the fourth month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, and the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, has been reporting that Tropical Depression Kate is struggling and not expected to last much longer. Tropical Depression Kate struggling and not expected to last much longer. And the Hurricane Center is also telling us that tropical cyclone activity in the Atlantic basin during August was above normal in terms of the number of named storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes. 6 named storms formed in the Atlantic basin in August, with 3 of them becoming hurricanes and 2 of those becoming major hurricanes. Grace was a Category 3 hurricane when it made landfall just south of Tuxpan, Mexico on the 22nd of August, and Ida was a Category 4 hurricane when it made landfall near Port Fourchon, Louisiana on August 29. One tropical depression formed on the last day of the month based on a 30-year climatology. 3 or 4 named storms typically develop in August, with 1 or 2 of them becoming hurricanes. A major hurricane forms in August every 1 to 2 years. In terms of accumulated cyclone energy, which measures the strength and duration of tropical storms and hurricanes, activity in the basin so far in 2021 is above normal, almost 25% above the long-term mean. The 11 named storms through the end of August is well above the 30-year average of 6 to 7 named storms by the end of the month. So that's some useful, detailed information from the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. And if you recall, we started out with Tropical Storm Anna in May. And remember, as of next year, the Atlantic hurricane season will start in the month of May. So whereas it would normally start 1st of June, as of next year, it will start the 1st of May. Anna was the first tropical storm, the first system in May this year. Then came Bill, followed by Claudette, Danny, Elsa, Fred, Grace, Henri, Ida, Kate, Julian, and then Tropical Depression 12 on the final day in the month of August, yesterday. Let's bring it closer to home now and tell you what the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting as far as the local weather forecast is concerned. There's a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. Expect isolated showers and thunderstorms across hilly areas and western parishes, partly cloudy and hazy elsewhere. Tonight, mainly fair. A quick look at some of the other current regional weather features. There's a tropical wave approaching the central Caribbean, an area of low pressure across Panama, and Tropical Depression Kate was last located at 1,440 kilometers northeast of the Leeward Islands. Newly formed Tropical Storm Larry, at the last report, was about 280 kilometers south of the southernmost Cape Verde Islands. The month of September is being observed here in Jamaica as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, National Senior Citizens Month, Employers Month, Alopecia Awareness Month, that refers to the partial or complete hair loss, baldness. September is also Travel Agents Month, and there seems to be some confusion at Tasty Cheese because the just concluded month of August, they were telling us, was Cheese Month, and whereas they would normally tell us that September is Cheese Month. Not sure, unless it's two competing entities. I don't know, but that's what I've been hearing. But as far as we're aware, normally this month is observed, the month of September is observed as Cheese Month. It's Constitution Day in Slovakia. Italians in Libya are observing Evacuation Day. It's Independence Day in Libya. I beg your pardon. Italians in Libya are observing Evacuation Day in Libya, but it's Independence Day in Uzbekistan. Informe Presidencial, President's Address in Mexico. The Kermesse Festival is on in Luxembourg City, Luxembourg, and the reincorporation of Tarata is being observed in Peru. Eritreans are marking the start of the armed struggle in Eritrea. It's United Arab Republic's Day in Syria, and Workers' Day in the Marshall Islands. Hoy es miércoles, el 1 de septiembre 2021, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
Moderation, oh yes, moderation there.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit. And tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6th West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health, this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m., only on Power 106 FM.
You shine in the city, too much moderation.
C'est mercredi le 1er septembre 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme allant de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
The people them a ball. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone. Moderation there.
All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 1st of September, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. People them a ball. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we
Good afternoon to those listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point, this is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Depending on the nature of your device, downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank you if you have dialed one of the two designated numbers to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the U.S. who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. And if you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story via Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook account, there's always YouTube. All you need is a device, internet connection, open a browser like Google Chrome, for example, type YouTube, the YouTube website will come up. And if you do that now, you should see this video trending. If you're not seeing it trending, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open to you, 876-922-4112. 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but also your voice notes, your WhatsApp messages, and indeed you can call us via WhatsApp. The number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So that's a straight line to us on this side of the glass. That's a text line, and it's also a WhatsApp number. You have options. Looking forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We started this afternoon with the first stanza of the poem, The Second Coming, by William Butler Yeats. The Second Coming, William Butler Yeats, Yeats. And we paired that with Justin Hines and the Dominoes, Botheration, or as we say in Jamaica, Botheration. Botheration combined with The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats, the first stanza of The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. Today is a significant day in more ways than one. Normally, there would be a lot of buzz around our schools across the country at this time of year because it's back to school and the children want to go back to school in them new uniform. You know how we say it in Jamaica, uniform. And they would normally look forward to their new shoes, new school shoes, and new bag, and everybody showing off their bag, whatever brand it was or is, and so on and so forth. That buzz, that fervor, that excitement has obviously been smothered by COVID-19 over the past going 19 months now. And it remains to be seen what will happen for our students in this 2021-2022 academic year. Today, also, what we do know is that schools are still dispatching the packages. Students have been going in with their parents and guardians, picking up their packages, and also there are schools holding orientation online, orientation for the first formers in particular, and no doubt they will ratchet it up as the days go by for the other forms, second form, third form, etc. And most of these engagements apparently will be virtual. Let's see how that unfolds here in Jamaica in terms of the numbers. We've been vaccinating 12 and older, and most if not all of those children will receive or have received the Pfizer vaccine, and most of that coming from the United States. We already got 208,000. There's another 400,000 to come, and we'll see. A fair number of students have been vaccinated already. Let's see how things flow from here. No doubt we will be hearing where we go from here from the press conference called by Jamaica House. There's a press conference which takes place at 6 o'clock this evening. According to the Gleaner, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called a press conference for 6 o'clock this evening. The Prime Minister is expected to address the rapid increase in COVID cases and deaths amid the surge in infections, hospitals exceeding their capacity, and the business of oxygen supplies, etc. The press conference at 6 o'clock this evening by the Prime Minister. What would you like to hear from the Prime Minister this evening in that 6 o'clock press conference? Listeners at home and abroad, what would you like to hear? What action would you like to see taken that has so far not been taken? Or what action would you like to see discontinued? And what in your estimation, should replace that discontinued action, etc., etc., etc. You have the opportunity to express yourselves on this score. You know how much we love history and we love to share. The 1st of September is significant as well because it was on this day in 1957 that at the time a very significant tragedy, and at the time globally it was significant. A very significant and tragic crash took place on this day in 1957. Can anybody say what that was? For those who are listening, what was that? What happened on this day 64 years ago that resulted in the death of almost 200 people and another 500 injured? Let's see who is going to post that online to tell us. Let's see if you've been paying attention. What happened on this day in 1957, 64 years ago? You are correct, Violet White. The Kendall crash, the Kendall train crash. A fateful day. This day in 1957 represents a fateful, F-A-T-E-F-U-L, a fateful date in the history of the Jamaica Railway Department. On that date, at approximately 11:30 p.m., a train carrying some 1,600 excursionists derailed its tracks at Kendall, Manchester, killing almost 200 people and injuring about 500 others. We'll tell you more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
But wait, look at this, Vincent.
What no?
Look on the paper how it little bit and wingy like marble. This can't fail.
What's the old mite them we cause it? Them attack the leaves of the plant, so the fruit can't get to grow proper.
So what the other farmers can use so the pepper them come big and pretty like your own?
Well, is new mectin what me use still, you know? What eco-friendly biological pesticide? With this product, the mite them can't touch my field.
For real?
Yeah, man. It environmentally friendly. It deal with the mite them proper, and it don't leave no residue after application. It good for the crop. It good for the environment. And guess what? It good for my pocket too.
Me I go spread the word about this product to the rest of the farmers. New make thing you say?
Yeah, man.
Get your eco-friendly Numecting pesticide at your local Hypro dealer today.
Renovating your bathroom, or maybe you're in need of plumbing repairs? Jamaica Plumbing Supplies is your one-stop store for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit our new Portmore showroom at 62 Congreve Park, Nagohead, or 56 Malines Road, Kingston, and let our experienced staff provide you with quality products and efficient solutions. For more info or to shop online, visit JamaicaPlumbingSupplies.com. Jamaica Plumbing Supply. Let's save water.
Imagine styles of tiles for every room. So trendy, sophisticated, stunning, yet cool. Simply unique. Tiles for floors to walls and everything in between. Make your best home anything but ordinary. At home and things.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on on how to keep your mind fit. And tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6th West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health, this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m., only on Power 106 FM.
Oh yes, moderation there.
We've been sharing with you the story of the Kendall crash, which occurred on this day in 1957. The day started out on a good note with members of the Holy Name Society of St. Anne's Roman Catholic Church in Kingston, in addition to the usual freeloaders being transported to Montego Bay, where they had a big meeting and picnic. On the way back to Kingston that night, many were to realize that they were experiencing their last train ride. Reports indicate that the return trip was rather chaotic, with bad behavior being displayed by some who were on board the train. One, Ainsley Mackenzie, who survived the crash, recalled that people switched the lights on and off and fiddled with the cords. Others indicated that some people walked up and down the coaches, drinking, cursing, and making noise. It is said that the train was coming to a big bend in the line at considerable speed when there was a terrific jolting and swaying likened to an earthquake. The driver shouted, "We're dead now! We're dead now!" He made 3 blasts of the whistle to indicate that something was wrong before he inevitably lost control. 8 of the 12 coaches were completely wrecked. One of the coaches, its superstructure raised to the flooring, remained on the lines and ran for about 100 yards. Of the remainder, 5 toppled into a gully beside the track. 2 remained in the cutting. 1 mounted its bank, the other being raised up so that its body came off the undercarriage and the front wheels were lifted off the line. The last 2 coaches remained undamaged. Most of the passengers of the 4 rear coaches escaped unharmed, but for shock and minor injuries such as cuts and bruises. The remaining coaches were in utter shambles, with dead and injured inside and underneath them. Survivors screaming, calling for help, or crying the names of relatives or friends. It is claimed that vultures in the form of thieves could be seen going through the pockets and removing jewelry from the dead bodies. An injured old man was reported to have said, "Wait no, me not dead yet," as they tried to take his watch. The Railway Commission of Inquiry that investigated the accident attributed it to a number of causes, not excluding mismanagement and negligence by a number of top officers. According to the Commission, the immediate cause of the wreck was the accidental closure of an angle brake cock, which had been placed incorrectly. The commissioners emphasized the fact that the general standard of brake equipment maintenance on the train was unsatisfactory. This called into question the integrity and honesty of the acting general manager, Mr. Magnus, and his assistant. The report submitted could not have been more blunt. Mr. Magnus, the acting general manager, has shown by his conduct in procuring a false break certificate that he lacks the integrity which one must expect of an officer occupying that position. It was also stated that the driver had been going too fast, but that could have been attributed to the fact that the brakes were not in good working condition in the first place. In addition, the report indicated that overcrowding was also a problem on the train, as each coach should have been carrying a maximum of 80 people, yet there were up to 130 people in some. In 2001, a monument in the form of a cenotaph was erected at a new cemetery, La Caridad, in Spanish Town. Inscribed in the monument are the names of the victims who had suffered that terrible fate on the night of September 1, 1957. The New York World Almanac listed this accident as the world's worst. Previously, the 1952 tram accident near Rio in Brazil held this record with 111 dead and 250 injured. And no doubt, even to this day, family members at home and abroad, family members of those impacted by the Kendall crash would still be reflecting on perhaps what was or what could have been. But so it was on this day, the 1st of September, 1957, the Kendall crash. There are a lot of other things that would have happened on this day. There's a speech we wanted to share with you yesterday. Yesterday was the anniversary of independence of Trinidad and Tobago, and there was a speech delivered by Eric Williams of the Prime Minister, Eric Williams at the time. Right, 1962 was the year, 31st of August, 1962. Here are the words of Eric Williams, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. On this day in 1962, Eric Williams said, "Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education." Let's read that again. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. In fact, I'll go from the top without breaking. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. Democracy means the protection of the weak against the strong. Democracy means the obligation of the minority to recognize the right of the majority. Democracy means the responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power and the violation of human freedoms and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the right of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly of organization. The words of Eric Williams in his Independence Day speech as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago on the 31st of August, 19 62. And so, happy belated Independence Day, TNT. I don't remember I think we did list Trinidad's independence as one of the observances yesterday. I'm not sure we went as far as to congratulate TNT, sweet, sweet TNT. Good afternoon to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Trust you were able to safely observe your 59th independence. Let's see. Some more messages to clear. Let's clear them now. Norman Hines in St. Thomas. We hear that parish, your parish, Norman Hines, or your parishioners have not been as forthcoming or as involved as the state would want them to be as far as the vaccination program is concerned. And that's why the Prime Minister himself, we gather, will be making a stop, the first stop in St. Thomas, or he would have made that stop already from earlier today, we would imagine. Right, so Norman Hines, are you aware of that? And from where you sit in your part of St. Thomas, what's the reason? What's the thinking? I know we have this tendency to see St. Thomas in a particular light. I don't know if the thinking is St. Thomas people know how to protect themselves based on how some people perceive the parish of St. Thomas and the people of St. Thomas. What do you think, Norman Hines? We look out for your response. Bratislava Borivodjova, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. Tyrone Bernard says, greetings, Mr. Malcolm. I'm still your biggest fan. Signed, Tyrone Bernard. That's very kind of you to say, Tyrone Bernard. Sham White, good afternoon to you. Good to see you. Cherry Henry, good afternoon. And we accept afternoon greetings on behalf of the listeners, as mentioned in your message. Thanks for listening. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, sending shout-outs and big-ups as usual. Audrey Smith in Southampton, England, says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Blessed Wednesday to all. Can't believe where this year has gone. Stay safe, everyone. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Where you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays, as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. People them a ball. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone. Moderation there. Moderation there. Moderation there. I leave from east to west. Moderation there. I move from north to south. Moderation there. So everywhere I go.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. A couple of stories that caught our attention earlier today. We were going through the news. Texas passes law banning abortion after 6 weeks. A law banning abortion from as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy has come into effect in the U.S. state of Texas. It bans abortions after the detection of what anti-abortion campaigners call a fetal heartbeat, something medical authorities say is misleading. The law, one of the most restrictive in the United States, took effect after the Supreme Court did not respond to an emergency appeal by abortion providers. Doctors and women's rights groups have heavily criticized the law. It gives any individual the right to sue doctors who perform an abortion past the 6-week point. The so-called Heartbeat Act was signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott in May. But rights groups, including Planned Parenthood and the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, then requested that the Supreme Court block the legislation. In the early hours of Wednesday, today that is, the ACLU confirmed that the court had not responded to their request, adding access to almost all abortion had just been cut off for millions of people. The group, which said that up to 90% of abortions in Texas took place after 6 weeks of pregnancy, described the development as blatantly unconstitutional. The U.S. women's health group, Planned Parenthood, also condemned the ban, tweeting, "No matter what, we aren't backing down and we're still fighting. Everyone deserves access to abortion." In a statement, President Joe Biden denounced the bill as extreme, warning it would significantly impair access to abortion care, particularly for low-income Texans and racial minorities. The Supreme Court still has the power to overturn the ban at a later stage. And you can read on. Texas passes law banning abortion after 6 weeks. One of the stories we came across and thought we'd share with you here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. There is another that we also want to share, and this one on the subject of Hurricane Ida and the impact on New Orleans. New Orleans is under curfew amid blackout. New Orleans officials have imposed a citywide curfew as large parts of Louisiana and Mississippi remain without power following Hurricane Ida. Mayor LaToya Cantrell said the curfew would last from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., and police said there had been several incidents of looting in the city. Energy companies are working to restore power, but residents are being warned it could take weeks in some areas. Meanwhile, water services and infrastructure have also been hit. 2 people were killed and at least 10 injured after a section of a highway collapsed near Lucedale, Mississippi on Monday. We wish the people of all those impacted by Ida well, all those impacted by Hurricane Ida, we wish you Well, another bit of information here, which has implications for us here in Jamaica because of trade. The data from Europe this morning, that's today, Wednesday, the 1st of September, data from Europe this morning confirmed that problems in global supply chains seem to be only getting worse. Problems in global supply chains seem to be be only getting worse. And this, if you think this has nothing to do with us here in Jamaica, think again, because we import a lot, more than 60% of the items in our basic food basket, for example, is imported. A food import bill of about $1 billion a year. And so we're depending on all these other countries. Yes, we make some things in Jamaica. Yes, we grow some things in Jamaica, but we still have not gotten to that critical creating, the expression might not necessarily be appropriate, but critical mass. In other words, a critical mass, yeah, it can still work. A critical mass of industries operating in Jamaica that help us to be self-sustainable in our lifestyle and our choices. So the problems in global supply chains seem to be only getting worse. Factories in the region, and this is coming out of Europe, factories in the region saw unfilled orders rise to a record level. Factories in the region saw unfilled orders rise to a record level as logistical problems are proving more stubborn than previously expected. A report from Switzerland showed manufacturers are increasingly adjusting their supply chains to place more orders with European firms. In the US, there are big problems in just getting containers and then a shortage of drivers to move them around the country, all of which is feeding through to the cost of finished goods and inflationary pressure. Did you hear that? All that we just shared is feeding through to the cost of finished goods. So whatever price increases you have been noticing, there is a connection with what's happening in the rest of the world as far as logistics are concerned, as far as the global supply chains are concerned. What should that teach us? Well, it should remind us to look within. To look within, Bob Marley's song. Which song is that? Open your eyes and look within. Are you satisfied with the life you're living? So let's open our eyes and look within. Are we satisfied with the level of production that originates and takes place right here in Jamaica in terms of our ability to feed ourselves, first of all, before looking elsewhere? And then the other story that caught our attention, we want to share, is timely because this is usually back to school time. It's supposed to be back to school time. And it's a story from CNN. Let's see if we can bring this up. It delayed, allow students to sleep. I'm trying to bring it. Where is the story? CNN carried it. Right, I think this is it. How to get your teens, I think this is the one. How to get your teens to sleep how to get your teens to sleep now that they are back in school. And this would apply to the US and elsewhere. Technically speaking, our children are not back in school, but the story is how to get your teens to sleep now that they are back in school. And it says here, it's a story by Sandy Lamotte, Sandee, Lamotte, Lamotte, of CNN. School may look a bit different these days, but there's one constant parents will remember from pre-COVID days: the struggle to get your teen to sleep. In fact, staying up late to see or talk with friends may be an even bigger problem now, as teens catch up on socializing. Then there are the typical distractions: television, social media, video games, and more. What's a parent to do? Sandy Lamotte asks. Rest easy, experts say. There are tried and true techniques that can put your child back on a regular sleep schedule, or as they say in America, schedule. Schedule is American, schedule is English. Right, so there are tried and true techniques that can put your child back on a regular sleep schedule, which will help improve their academic performance and mood. And so there's apparently a thing called social jet lag. And the question is your teenager suffering from social jet lag? That wouldn't mean they are behind on making friends or going to parties. In the sleep world, it's a term for the disparity between the number of hours you sleep during the week compared to the weekend. The number of hours you sleep during the week compared to the weekend. That's called social jet lag. Social jet lag occurs when people sleep later on the weekend than during the work or school week. And this leads to what is called a delay in circadian timing. And that's according to sleep specialist Kenneth Wright, a professor of integrative psychology at the University of Colorado, Boulder. Come Monday morning, their clock is several time zones later, leading to a type of jet lag, he says. More in a moment.
Too much moderation.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit. And tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6th West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Moderation there, I move from north to south. Moderation there, so everywhere I go. Moderation there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence says, greetings and blessings to you, Dervan. Appreciate the light you are shedding on the issues of the day regarding COVID-19 and the history of vaccinations up to the 19th century when I served as a public health inspector. We were gazetted as public vaccinators for administering the smallpox vaccine. We can overcome the challenges with all hands on deck. From Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence, for your message. Let's go to the phone lines and come back with more in just a moment. 876, more of your messages, that is. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello. Are you there? All right, that person got tired of holding. Let's move on. This one says, hi, Dervan. Can you do a shout out to Miss Daisy for me, please? Also, today is Lorna's birthday, so please send greetings to her for me, too. Well, happy birthday to Lorna Lewis, otherwise known as Vicky from Claremont in St. Anne, a member of the team of, or she's the leader of the team now, isn't she? The team of business development executives at Power 106 FM. Happy birthday, Lorna, coming from Althea Mackenzie, our colleague. And also to Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy, shout out to Miss Daisy as well, also coming from Althea. All the best. And hello to my godson. This is me now, my godson in Somerset in England, who is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Seth. Although, what time is it now? Well, it's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the night in the UK right now. Hope you've been having an enjoyable day so far, Seth. Apart from what we were talking about online earlier on. All the best. Let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
Very well. Thank you.
Good.
I would like to start off by offering my sincere condolences to the family of the late nurse Cunningham from the Savlamore Hospital, who died a few days ago. From all media reports, she was a very talented, bright, and very professional senior nurse employed at that medical facility, who was very committed to her job. I heard one of her tutors stating that she had vast leadership skills, and she's quite taken aback that she has passed on. I have had several positive reports from persons who have been vaccinated at the Montego Bay based Type 5 Health Clinic, and they have all had widespread commendations and felicitations for the medical staff who are responsible for carrying out the vaccinations at that facility. And I have also had the opportunity to observe for a brief time the entire operations there. And I can tell you, and I think that the Minister of Health and the Chief Medical Officer will be pleased, that the entire process there is very organized, efficient, and very, very professional. So I commend all the nurses and the staff at the Type 5 Health Center in Montego Bay for a job well done, and they continue to do a very good job. I must say that based on recent reports, there is no doubt, Dervan, that there needs to be better coordination and management at some of the various vaccination centers across Jamaica. But I am confident and certain that the irrepressible Health Minister, Dr. Chris Tufton, and the hardworking Chief Medical Officer of Health will address them in short order. It is my view that I'm not certain if this is already the case, but it is my view that the Jamaica Defense Force should be put in charge of logistics at the various vaccination centers, and they would work closely with the Ministry of Health in order to achieve a much more higher efficiency level. I heard Prime Minister Holness publicly stating that his administration will not impose mandatory vaccinations for the Jamaican people, for that would come with some serious constitutional issues, which I concur with him. But I do not know if you heard Dervan yesterday, and some of your listeners, I guess, would have heard the erudite president of the Jamaica Bar Association, Mr. Alexander Williams, Esquire, vocally and publicly calling on the Attorney General, the Honorable Marlene Malhou Ford QC, to enunciate officially, and I think this is important, to enunciate officially the government's legal opinion on whether or not employers in this country can lawfully and constitutionally compel its employees to be vaccinated. Because the incontrovertible fact is that all employers in Jamaica have an inherent common law duty and profound responsibility to protect within their organizations and companies all their employees, and under the Labor Relations Code here in Jamaica, workers also have an obligation to give their full cooperation to management in adhering to all the labor relations, rules, regulations, and safety rules and measures that pertain in those organizations and companies. So it is my view to date, I have not heard the government issuing any legal opinion or declaration or providing any guidelines as to what employers should do if some of their employees refuse to take the vaccine for the COVID-19 virus.
Well, it remains to be seen whether such a decision will be taken with respect to having a court pronounce on the matter. In the meantime, we don't know of anyone or any business taking that stance. What the businesses have done, and the private sector on a whole is to organize vaccination sessions for their employees, and apparently those sessions have been going very well. There's without any court ruling, the employers have a right or enjoy certain rights with respect to employing people and to protecting their employees, protecting the interests of every single employee, and also to protect the interest of the business itself. And if there's any threat, any pending threat or impending threat to the enterprise, the employer will necessarily take steps to protect that enterprise and to protect both its internal and external customers.
Yes, but would you agree that it is imperative in short order for the Attorney General to make some pronouncements on this issue?
Well, it wouldn't, I don't know about her making pronouncements as opposed to perhaps well, she's the Attorney General, and she perhaps could speak on the matter, except that I'm not sure. I don't see that happening right now, actually, based on all that has been going on. Yeah. But if she's going to say anything, it would be with a sense of urgency. It would be to say that the Office of the Attorney General has brought or put before or is about to bring before the court this matter of the mandatory vaccination for workers, etc. But I just don't see it happening right now, actually, unless somebody who feels aggrieved decides to take the matter to court, assuming that an employer would have taken such a position.
I heard the president of the Jamaica Bar Association, Mr. Alexander Williams, stating that in a matter of days, the Jamaica Bar Association will issue their position.
Well, their position seems quite clear, even without formally issuing it.
Yes, quite so. There has been a widespread oxygen shortage at the hospitals recently. The government should proceed to seek funding.
Sorry, hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Where you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the Morning Agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the Morning Agenda on Power 106 FM, weekdays 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Too much confusion in the city. Too much botheration on the land. People them a ball. Botheration there. Tomorrow when we gone. Botheration there. Oh, botheration there. Oh, botheration there. I leave from east to west. Botheration there. I move from north to south. Botheration there. So everywhere I go. Botheration there. So tomorrow when we botheration, oh yes, botheration there. Botheration, oh yes, botheration there. The people them a ball. Botheration there. Tomorrow when we gone. Botheration there. Oh, botheration there. Oh, botheration there. I live from east to west. Botheration there. I move from north to south. Botheration there. So everywhere I go. Botheration there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much botheration on the land. The people them a ball. Botheration there. Tomorrow when we gone. Botheration there. Oh, botheration there. Oh, botheration there.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We were just being given an update on a situation with respect to the tax office trying to renew one's driver's license from 8 o'clock this morning and finishing closer to 3 o'clock, from 8 to 3. Yeah, I think we've had more than enough time now. This is month number 19, I believe. More than enough time to work out some strategies, to employ some creative tools, techniques, systems, processes that will help us to better manage our affairs. And then when you throw the lockdowns into the mix, matters are further complicated, because those who didn't get to do this and that, and these funds weren't able to be transferred, or these, etc. And then it just becomes so much more complicated. But we really should be doing better at 19 months. Yes, COVID is new, as in COVID-19. And I mean, we, those of us in the land of the living, would not have experienced anything like this before, for the most part. And we have to learn, and we have to learn fast, as we say in Jamaican terms. We have to learn fast, quick, because lives are at stake in more ways than one. Right, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. In between your messages, this one says, this is from Elizabeth. She says, howdy do, Dervan. Love the way my Jamaican peeps taking up the vaccine. That's the right way to go, people. And we'll come back to more of those messages. But let's get back to the caller on the line. Hello?
Thank you so much, Dervan. I endorse those comments from you. wholeheartedly. I was saying that the government should seek funding to construct at the University Hospital of the West Indies, the Kingston Public Hospital, the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, the Mandeville Hospital, and the Cornwall Regional Hospital, all type 1 medical facilities, oxygen generation plans, so that these very important type 1 hospitals can have a constant, efficient flow and supply of medical oxygen. And this would limit the government having to depend solely on IGL for medical oxygen. And the medical oxygen which would be generated at these facilities would also be shared with the other hospitals that require them. I do not think that the manner in which it is being dealt with, meaning the IGL, it is my understanding that company is the sole company responsible for supplying the hospitals with medical oxygen. I do not think that is the proper, organized, and professional way to go about supplying the hospitals with medical oxygen. I think we need some forward planning here. The Prime Minister and his cabinet, this matter has been raised before, but I will raise it again because I think it's worthy of raising again, and I think it's important. I think there needs to be a one-off payment to all nurses and doctors who are working on the front line over the past 19 months, I think it is. I think they need this one-off payment, and they have earned it. The other serious issue, Dervan, that the Prime Minister, I think, should address this evening. I heard the chairman of the Police Federation, the hard-working Corporal Rohan James, this morning, bitterly and vociferously complaining that on the days of the island-wide lockdown, all those serving police officers are not being served at any of the food outlets and establishments that are opened, and concomitantly they are being told and instructed to go through the ENDS program. I think it is unacceptable, reckless, reprehensible, and scandalous. We have those hard-working police officers on the job, Dervan. Can you imagine that the requisite orders were not given to these establishments and outlets to serve any police officer who enters their establishment? It's an injustice, a travesty of justice for those police officers who are putting their lives on the line every single day. Countries facing a massive crime problem, and when they go to purchase food, they are being told on those lockdown days, Dervan, to go through the ENDS program.
Yeah, well, we clearly have work to do in the field of logistics. That's where we seem to be falling down. And for those who think this term is far removed, or they don't understand what we're talking about when we speak of logistics, it refers to the detailed, keyword there, detailed organization and implementation of a complex operation. That's really what it is. A detailed organization and implementation. So doing the planning, going through the planning process in a detailed way. This is how we want it to go. This is what should happen. This is the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. And then we roll that out and we do a dry run, as they say, or a recce, whatever you call it. And on the day we are set. However, the operation remains pliable. So in the event that something happens that we didn't project, that we didn't make provisions for, there is a backup, and there is the system, the process, the logistics apparatus has the capacity to reflect whatever unsuspecting change that would emerge. But we have to leave it there, though. Thank you very much for your thoughts, and we look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much, Dervan. All the best to you.
All the best to you, too. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
To you and your listeners.
Thank you.
Yeah, may the God of comfort be with us all.
Your voice is fading away. Come again. Say all of that again, please.
May the God of comfort be your portion.
Thank you very much, and the same to you.
Yes. On a different note, I just want to talk to you briefly on the issue of the Maroons.
What about the Maroons?
Yes, the question whether they have a treaty or whether it is an agreement. I think we should get a ruling on that as
well. There is a document. There's a document. Well, I think we've said this before, though. We've had this discussion before. Maybe not necessarily with you. I don't remember, but that's really what would help. If there is an issue, then take the document to the court, and because the Maroon community is still subject to the laws of the land, and that's what the court is there for.
Yes, I think we should have that matter as a matter of urgency.
Yes.
When I look at the document, there are a lot of issues that need to be clarified. Meaning, the governor who signed that document, Governor Trelawney.
One moment, please.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit, and tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6th West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Moderation there. Tomorrow will be gone. Moderation there. Oh, moderation there.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes. I was saying, in 1738, when the document was signed, it was during the tenureship of Governor Edward Trelawney. What I saw on Google on the treaty. Hello?
I'm not sure what that is.
Yes. What I saw is that several place names of Trelawney was mentioned in the treaty. But at that time, Trelawney was not existing as a parish. So I'm wondering how the name Trelawney came as a place in the treaty. That's one. Two, they mentioned in the treaty that the Maroons were not allowed to do sugarcane or have sugar mills. But in 1738, in the 1730s, there were sugar mills at Aberdeen in St. Elizabeth. That's nearby to Appleton. So there's a lot of clarification. Plus, when Governor William Trelawney, for whom the parish of Trelawney was named in the 1770s, came into being. Later on, the governor ordered the Maroons to come to Spanish Town to report to his office in Spanish Town. And the older ones decided to go to Spanish Town, and the younger ones refused. And the governor leaves Spanish Town and traveled by boat. There was no road then to go to St. Anne. And the government met them in Richmond. And all the Maroons that he met there, he hung them right at Richmond Landover. So for they to be claiming that they have autonomy, why would the governor order them to come? And why would he hang them if he did not have the autonomy? And finally, the governor, shortly thereafter, he ordered dogs to hunt them down from Cuba, and the dogs came and were dispatched to hunt down the Maroons. So I'm thinking that the autonomy that they are claiming needs to be clarified.
Right. And the best place is in a court of law.
Indeed.
Yes.
So that's my input, and take care of yourself and be well.
You too, and thank you so much for keeping in touch. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Here is another bit of motivation for those reluctant to take the vaccine. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, will soon require full COVID-19 vaccination for immigrant visa and green card applicants. All applicants for permanent residency in the U.S. are required to submit a medical examination form as part of their application process. For those who complete the medical exam, October 1st, 2021 or later, proof of vaccination against COVID-19 will be required in order for permanent residency to be approved. Exceptions apply for individuals who are under age 12 or who cannot receive the vaccine. Eligible applicants will need to show either an official vaccination record or provide a copy of their medical chart with written documentation from a physician or qualified medical professional demonstrating proof of vaccination. Applicants must show that they have received a full dose of vaccination. Individuals may request an exemption for the mandate from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, in certain cases, including religious and moral grounds. Waivers are also available for individuals who meet exemption standards due to age, as well as individuals for whom vaccination is medically contradicting or who live in areas where vaccines are readily available, are not readily available, I beg your pardon, who live in areas where vaccines are not readily available. Individuals will not be allowed to bypass the vaccine requirement by presenting documentation that shows immunity to COVID-19. USCIS and the CDC, that's the Centers for Disease Control, have not yet issued specific guidance or instructions for the requirements. Envoy Global and Global Immigration Associates will continue to provide information on this matter as it becomes available. Right. And so that's information that came to hand a short while ago, dated September 1st, 2021. And we also see that that Wayne Chen has tweeted the information as well. So CDC, Centers for Disease Control, to mandate COVID-19 vaccines for immigrant visa and green card applicants. Wonder if we have some people rushing to vaccination centers now after that announcement. Well, take your time. Take your time. Let's continue with some more as information comes to hand. Verifiable information. We follow up. Right, let's clear some of these messages even as we await your call. Remember, at the outset, since we started, we've invited you to call us to share with us what you would like to hear from the Prime Minister this evening. The Prime Minister will address the nation this evening. And please tell us what you would like to hear, or give us your position based on all that we've experienced so far, and with speculation rife as to what is likely to happen going forward after this press conference. Based on all of those variables, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What would you love to hear from the Prime Minister in relation to COVID-19 and attendant matters? 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. We missed a couple of calls. One from Nicholas. I think we missed one as well from Natalie in Washington Gardens. Sorry about that. And I think we just missed Raskava, who was calling through. In the meantime, let's just clear a couple more messages. Here we go on WhatsApp. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Wednesday to you and your listeners. The Prime Minister is on a tour of you have vacation centers. I'm sure you mean vaccination centers across Jamaica, starting in St. Thomas today, in a move to mobilize citizens to take the vaccine. I don't believe it's a wise idea. The Prime Minister is a young and popular leader. People will rush him, want to shake his hands. This move, if not managed, can contribute to further spread can contribute to further spread the virus. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. Thank you for your message, Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. It should be quite instructive to see how this tour is conducted. Miss Olive in Portmore, St. Catherine says, "Good day, Dervan. Tasty has every right for the confusion. What cheese you can think of that doesn't melt? You can't even shred it without it sticking onto the shredder or grater. Big joke." Well, just try another brand, Miss Olive. Try another brand. And someone was responding to the question earlier on when we were asking which significant event happened on this day in 1957, 64 years ago. The Kendall crash. Indeed, yes, it was the Kendall crash. And this one says, "You are one of my influencers. You are a real journalist of the highest order." Oh dear, you're very kind. Dervan, why is mainstream media, or why are mainstream media censoring D? Censoring D. Why are mainstream media censoring D? That's not journalism. Censoring D, is that D a typo? Censoring who? Censoring what? Tell us some more, please. Tell us some more. What's the extent of give us some more so we can pick up that discussion. Thank you. Nicholas says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy new month." Here's a quote from Nelson Mandela. "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Stay safe." I would like to see the Ministry of Health allowing the private doctors and also the pharmacies to help administering the COVID-19 vaccine. Additionally, I would like to hear the minister announce COVID-19 vaccination mobilization throughout each community. That would be about 775 communities, Nicholas. The Social Development Commission tells us we have about 775 communities in Jamaica. The message goes on. "Mr. Malcolm, do you have the clip of the survivors from the Kendall crash? I would like you to play it for my classmates." No, I don't have that clip. Where can that clip be found? And Nicholas has shared with us as well, new CDC vaccine, immigrant visa requirements, effective October 1, 2021, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, will require all age-appropriate applicants for U.S. immigrant visas worldwide to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 for immigrant visa consideration. This requirement does not apply to non-immigrant visa classes such as tourist or student visas. All right. A lot to go into at some point, that information. Vision of New York says, "Good afternoon." All right, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security is advising the public that its St. James Parish office will be relocated to its original home at 4 Sam Sharp Square, Montego Bay, effective Wednesday, September 1. The telephone numbers and email addresses will remain the same. The ministry will inconvenience this may cause and looks forward to serving you even better.
Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your Legal Corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during You can call our numbers 876-922-4112-5. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here, Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, how to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's young, it's fresh, it's worldviews from a youth perspective. It's Gen Z, navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Power 106 FM.
In the city, too much better.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Just to complete this latest round of messages. Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and all your participants. Well, it's a cool and overcast day in New York. Here listening to you as always, Vision of New York. Thank you, Vision of New York, for keeping in touch with us. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, sir. I'm calling for the improvement to the living and life of my fellow Jamaicans. Jamaica under... No, we're not going to read that, Cuban in Georgia, that little piece there. Why from the big 63? I'm sorry, I don't get it, Cuban in Georgia. What is that? This is just an announcement from immigration, not a law, because this sounds undemocratic to many here in the United States. And that's Cuban and Georgia's response to the change to come with respect to immigrant visa applicants effective the 1st of October. And Miss Pearl says, what that man just said, I endorse $1 million. Blessed love, Sir D. You are the great. Oh, come on. You're very kind, Miss Pearl. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's go to Raskava, who I'm sure has a litany of things that he would like the Prime Minister to announce this evening at that 6 o'clock press conference. Raskava, your time.
I listened to the Kendall Crash documentary thing, all about it. We have a very good brethren that was in it as a survivor. And I remember Keith Brown.
Yes.
Out at the fight.
Yes.
Right. He and his brother was on it, and they were both survivors. And I used to work, you know Kendall?
Yes.
Right. So right up on top of the hill, when I reach, I go under the bridge of Kendall, really, going from Christiana, we are going into Mandeville. On the right side, there was one coming like one great house up there, the Lord and Clarks. They live there and own it. They own a property in Wickney and one in Colbeck. Was slavery property. I first place we go see one human trap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, where they set to catch slave them. It look like a O, and then you divide it in a two and bend it over in a two, make it look like a C. But on the edge of that, the edges around it, some sharp teeth about 6 inches long. They pan it, So when them spread it out and make it become the O again, then cover it with bush. But there's a little thing in between it. If you step on that, it fly and shut up back like a C.
Yes, I've seen that before.
Right, and you can't pull that. And if me strong like now, me have that amount of collection, man. And me say people them take it go sell it on a scrapper, and me tell you, man.
Oh no.
Those are history where cannot be replaced, man.
True.
And the people them just greedy for a lot of money. Then don't say these things worth $1 million and $1 trillion. That the younger generation can at least come and have a first eye view on it. So I do have the clip, watch it, but you can get it on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube for the listener.
I look out for it.
Right, and what I would really, the little folk told them about Kendall Crash and the two white girls were take that. But the Prime Minister, I would love him to give a directive and see that it carried out, that the crowd in the pharmacies and the hospitals and the health centers that is under his control. Because for him, that they maintain the physical distancing inside there. Because it is not been maintained. And somebody they have the chair then well onto one another, you know.
Oh.
That means you can't take up a chair and go there, so.
You'd have to maybe skip a chair or two.
Yeah, but some people come in tired and they put a hat them, they can't then that. They might go sit down. And nobody now go and get up and say, well, boy, this person have a disability, so let me give me seat. So you have to go work on that and nobody now go tell you, say, no, don't get up. Then put some marker there, no. Then put one piece of tape in it to indicate that you shouldn't sit there. But that's not saying much to people. When you go at the pharmacies are the same thing, the clinic the same thing, the outpatient are the same thing. So you need to make that work, that when people leave there, it leave in their mind, say, boy, me have to stay in the physical distance over this, you know, so me I go carry it out through the day.
So the onus is on the operators of these places.
I don't know if they get directive to see that it happening, you know. Because me see a nurse, a pass, and I say, nurse, look at that. Then some of them not no mask and they got touch actually and attack. Nurse is not her department, this.
Uh-oh.
So, but you know, it is not an easy thing about if the nurse will take on to that themselves, that the part of them day's activity when they well tired again.
True.
You have to have someone like a security guard assigned there to maintain that physical distance. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I'd love him to look into that. You go to the courthouse as I've gone there and see one bench will hold 5 or 8 upon it. And at the same place, they might charge people for breach of the COVID protocol. And them have violated same place and the judge knows and the police knows. So what moral they have to charge people for breach protocol and them are breach it?
Yeah.
So those things have to put some teeth in the way you execute those orders, if you want to call it so.
Yeah.
You see, in the schools again, I don't know if you can really keep a physical distance in schools, being it university down to kindergarten. It's not going to be possible because after break time and people come out of the classroom, you know, they are no longer under the watchful eyes of the teachers or who monitor them, you know. So that's the time they go and take off them masks, them play, them do all kind of something. I've gone to a school, as I've said already, and when we see them behave that in a high school, I may say, teacher, how is the physical distancing going? He said, Russ, that is impossible. And that didn't even ask another question. Can I see it to myself? So, to force people to take the vaccine, and it has now accepted that it will not prevent you from getting the virus or prevent you from spreading it. The personal responsibility have to step in now.
Yes.
That everyone knows and owe it to themselves to make certain say you keep yourself safe. And if everyone is doing that, they don't even need no to keep no other protocol. Just make sure so you keep yourself safe by doing what you need to do to keep yourself safe. And we have gone through that already and people know that. So I would love him look into those areas, and that would help a lot, very, very much, because people are still skeptic. And get rid of the red tape where you have, say, you have to be certified and qualified before you get the vaccine. Give everybody who come to take it. Get rid of that out of it. All who want to take it and decide, say, yes, you know, I'll take it now. Don't turn them back at the yard. You might not see them again. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Rascaba. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Are you here, Mr.?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, man. I would like the Prime Minister to apologize for Because the other day when you open the country, that's so much virus can come from people now. But come out and apologize. That you do a wrong thing.
All right. Well, let's hear if he will.
Yeah, Mr. Desmond Mackenzie and Miss Green. Sure, them should apologize to the country.
All right.
Because I've never opened up the country for a while, and they call it all about music industry for opening. So much people now catch the virus now, you know. I think it'll go on good, you know. I think
You
you
think
open
so?
up the country, bless you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, it should be a shame and himself for the Prime Minister to do that. But a politician, you know, I'm not going to do better, you know. I want everybody to feel good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for the call. Take care.
Respect.
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Jennifer Stewart from Kew Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. Good afternoon to you and to Miss Sybil Thompson as well. Good afternoon. Inez Campbell-Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut says, good afternoon, everyone. A rainy day it is. Summer is coming to a close for me. All the best, Inez Campbell-Brown. Milt Morgan says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and everyone out of London, Canada. Good to hear from you, Milk Morgan in London, Canada. Velta Wilson, good afternoon. Quincy Brown says, good afternoon. Happy birthday greetings to Mrs. Claudette Jackson Rickards today, and also happy birthday greetings to Nurse Shanna K. Simpson. Birthday greetings coming from Quincy Brown. Thank you. I'm sure the ladies appreciate your greetings, Quincy Brown. And he goes on to say, on Grand Cayman, major supermarkets such as Foster's Food Fair, Hurley's Supermarket, and Kirk's Supermarket have made it a requirement, in bold letters, for all employees to be fully vaccinated. No vaccine, no work at these establishments, says Quincy Brown. Sylviana Johnson says, good afternoon to you too, Sylviana. Sophia Nemad, good afternoon to you and all the others in Newell, St. Elizabeth. Paul in Philadelphia says, I would recommend that all tourists entering Jamaica should be vaccinated and provide proof or documentation of a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of entering the island. Thank you, Paul, for your suggestion. Andrew Lyons says, good afternoon, sir. Can you please explain to Jamaican people, especially motorists, what is the sidewalk for? Is it for parking or walking? Walking. It really is for walking. The road is for driving, and parking. If you have to park, you find parking, but it can't be that you park on the sidewalk. I know it's a common practice here in Jamaica. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4 o'clock.
Private sector employers.
Work with the PSVI to register and help vaccinate your staff with the PSVI vaccination program.
It's safe, efficient, and convenient. Protect your staff and customers.
Let's get the productive sector vaccinated and back to normality as quickly as we can.
Email info@psvija.com or call 876-339-0988 for registration details. That's 876-339-0988.
Vaccines work. Work with the vaccine.
The PSVI vaccination program is approved by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's young, it's fresh, it's worldviews from a youth perspective. It's Gen Z, navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:02. 现在几点了？4点02分。2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Elizabeth Morris says, would love to see a more orderly process in the vaccine drive. TLLMTGBTG says, the world will never be the same no matter where you are on this planet. That is why a country should not be dependent on other nations for food resources. Self-independent nation. Dwight Williams says, I'd like to share my condolences to Gente Solomon of St. James High School, who served as vice principal and has lost her life due to COVID-19. Condolences, Dwight Williams. Natalie Winter says, hi, good evening, good afternoon, Natalie. She says, mosquitoes fi kill in my bedroom. Washington Gardens urgently needs a fogging program. Rose in London says, happy new month, Sir Dervan and all listeners worldwide. Thanks, Rose. TLLM TGBTG says the government needs to implement a stimulus package to assist those who are financially affected. No man knows when COVID will leave this planet. A new variant of COVID was recently discovered in South Africa. We did talk about that yesterday. Thank you, TLLM TGBTG. Natalie Winter says, deal with the public vaccination is a must. You don't know what you will catch in contact with or come in contact with. We must find creative and ingenious ways to input people's money, especially public funds. Thieves beware. And CDC don't want anyone to come to their country and they're not vaccinated, says Natalie Winter. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5, having read those messages on YouTube. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to each and everyone. I'm good.
Good to hear your voice.
I'm here listening in. I'm lucky me get through. Me don't know me lucky for tonight. But me not fasting now, no business because me dey far away. But if me did have anything to say to the Prime Minister, I would say, please make it easy for the people who really want the vaccine. Because some people want it. I know, me have good contact with Jamaica. Me people, them to Jamaica, me come from and me go be there. A lot of people want to get it, but it's too much. Also, some of them, especially the people in the rural area, they must go in the city. They don't have the money for the transport and all these kind of things. Maybe the 10,000 way half of them for vaccine. Should have this money. Maybe should I use it and spend it on the people them to make sure they reach where they want to go to get the vaccine. It would be more effective. Anyway, I believe that there no me not say nothing more about that. That's what I want to say. Anyway, Dervan, me not talk too long. Only that me. Dervan, me a maroon too, you know.
Really?
But me come from the maroon Portland maroon Rio Grande Valley, Moortown. The four parents, them Moortown. Remember see how far them country them born and growing up.
Oh.
Yeah, that maroon from my four parents, Nanny town up in Moortown. Me used to bring a whole heap of friends from now we go and Nanny up in Moortown a year when they have them coming and them dancing and then this and that river time. You do all these things and bring me now and friend them to and they love it. Anyway, Dervan, take care of yourself. You hear?
Yes.
Leave now. I'm going to say,
Adebra. Thank you. All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. That's our regular listener, June in Norway. Thank you for the call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Mr. Malcolm.
Hi, Mr. Coombs.
Listening to Rascal, but when me a little boy, you know, I mean, used to sit Calaban, go catch birds. The big men, them over there, the African, them, say, man, you know, boy, man, set man trap here, so me ask him what it is. And I'm tell you the same thing, Rascal, but say some shine thing, we catch you. And when you shut up, you can't hold no way, you tell one ball out. Me sorry say, Rascal, but when you trap catch you, all the man, them behave. Yeah, man, the big man, tell you, say, man, them ball out. And you can't touch you, you have to stand up in the trap. That's what me hear, so me glad them back it up and me come up with it.
Yes.
Anyway, what time June was spending for now, yeah? The maroon up there, what me don't want up near Peter Sterling, no, up on Moortown, up where going there. Peter Sterling, June supposed to know him. Anyway, my call is about the man trap and the man good.
All right, thanks for the call.
What you say?
Hello? All right, let's continue. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Erlene Lewis says, good afternoon. Yes, the physical distance protocol is not being observed at the vaccination centers either. Mikey Jarrett says, good afternoon. Blessings, my brother, Mr. Malcolm, from Brooklyn, New York. Blessed love. Blessed love to you and all the other Jamaicans in Brooklyn, New York. Mikey Jarrett. Quincy Brown says, that was a requirement for me. I'm at home in Jamaica, though I'm not originally from here. I arrived fully vaccinated with my documents, and I was tested 3 times for COVID-19 here in Jamaica. I don't have it. I'm adhering to all the COVID-19 protocols. Thanks for sharing your story, Quincy Brown. Neriga Smart Morgan 7 says, good afternoon to you, Sir Malcolm. Blessings to you, sir. The Prime Minister of Jamaica walked into my community of Ramble in St. Thomas today, encouraging us to take our vaccines. Yeah, and I'm very glad to know that he even walked on the Ramble Bridge to see what it looks like. Blessings to Raskava, says Neriga Smart Morgan 7. And Quincy Brown says, Cayman Islands government intends to reopen borders fully by October 14, 2021. Well, let's see how that goes, Quincy Brown. Lorna Fairweather says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Jamaicans must wear the mask in all public spaces and also take the vaccine. Thank you very much for the messages. The many messages, keep them coming in. We're trying to clear them as quickly as they come in. Nicholas says, Mrs. Miller, your colleague from our Radio Jamaica 94, played the clip last year. Probably you could ask her just in case. Thank you, Nicholas. Cuban in Georgia. Let's see what he's saying here about 63. Sir Malcolm, the big 63 I'm talking about is our 63 members of parliament at Gordon House on Duke Street in downtown Kingston. I would never have guessed Cuban in Georgia. Thank you very much for your message. Ms. Pearl says, Sir D, okay, the Prime Minister going to address the nation this evening. I personally believe that 3 days of lockdown is not working. Why, when I go out and see the people in the market, tax office, supermarket, patty shop, at the bus stop, the people pack like sardine. The people themselves look like them have no understanding. The Prime Minister and Mr. Tufton alone can't manage, and who are advising themselves not ready. Who advising themselves not ready. Sir D, look what is happening at the vaccine center. Pack like sardine. Yes, the people are indisciplined. Get the people who are speaking them language, go out and help. For instance, have 100 chairs at the arena, X hours to do so much. No one come in until everyone is gone. Clean up another 100. Sir D, my story too long. Next time. Thank you, Miss Pearl, for your message on WhatsApp 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Keep those messages coming in here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We're seeing a story on the Gleaners online platform of rising water rendering Newmarket roadway in St. Elizabeth impassable. Quite familiar with that area. We have had to drive through there post heavy rainfall, and it was not a pretty sight. So this is problematic. The National Works Agency, NWA, is reporting that rising water in the community of Newmarket, St. Elizabeth, has again resulted in the main road leading to Carmel, Westmoreland being impassable. The Silo-Windsor Bridge along the Williamsfield to Aberdeen roadway in the parish is also impassable as a result of inundation. Manager of Communication and Customer Services at the NWA, Stephen Shaw, says both roadways are usually affected by floodwaters whenever there's a lot of rainfall in that part of the island. He says the Newmarket roadway is often blocked by the rising water of the Two Sister Pond in the community, while the Windsor roadway is mostly affected by deposits of floodwater traveling from southern Trelawney. Motorists wishing to travel towards Darlaston through Carmel should use the alternative route through Kilmarnock. And the story goes on. So one of those perennial situations, the rising water rendering the Newmarket roadway in St. Elizabeth impassable. Not to be confused with the word impossible. Impassable, meaning you cannot pass. You cannot cross it. Right, impassable. I-M-P-A-S-S-A-B-L-E, not to be confused with impossible. I-M-P-O-S-S-I-B-L-E. More information. Here's some information with respect to the opposition says PM vaccination tour ill-advised. The opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Maurice Guy, is calling for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to call off his COVID-19 vaccination mobilization tour, saying the initiative is ill-advised. Guy says Holness should be dedicating his time or his attention to devising a plan to quell the latest upsurge from COVID-19. The tour by Holness to encourage more Jamaicans to get vaccinated was kicked off in St. Thomas today. Guy says the opposition is concerned that the activity could politicize the country's vaccination drive, which he says should be avoided. He's contending that using state resources, let's come back with that in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-4112-5. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here, Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday right here on Power 106 FM.
It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the Morning Agenda on Power 106 FM. weekdays 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the Morning Agenda on Power 106 FM, weekdays 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. I leave from east to west. Moderation there. I move from north to south. Moderation there. So everywhere I go. Moderation there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. The people them apart. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone. Moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. People them apart. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone. Moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. I leave from east to west. Moderation there. I move from north to south. Moderation there. So everywhere I go. Moderation
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:18. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h18. Sciences, TDN le, CDN Sherba Fen. 18 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. A good afternoon. Yes, young people, we know it's not exactly back to school yet. We're not there yet. No doubt we will hear something this evening, which will give us a sense of direction with respect to what will become of the 2021-2022 academic year as far as the teaching and learning process is concerned. Let's see. In the meantime, what was I reading earlier on? I was reading a message. Veronica Powell says, "Good afternoon, sir. I enjoy listening to your show. Very informative." Thank you, Veronica Powell. There was something else. There was a message. What was I reading? Hold on. I thought there was something. Anyway, I guess we'll find it eventually. Right. So here's a story that was published. Right. So young people, you know what we always say. Even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Here's one of the stories that made the front page of the Gleaner last year this time, 1st of September 2020. The Gleaner, front page, at the top. Risk still of 1.5 million COVID-19 cases. The story said Jamaica could still be on course to register hundreds of thousands more coronavirus infections, in line with initial modeling by government authorities that projected a potential spread to more than half the population. That could be as many as 1.5 million people. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has, however, sought to temper alarm at the mounting infections with multiple one-day records over the past 2 weeks. Sounds familiar? It's the same narrative that has been taking place this year at this around this time in Jamaica. That was the same narrative last year this time. The Health and Wellness Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has, however, sought to temper alarm at the mounting infections with multiple one-day records over the past 2 weeks. Tufton warned that the country was in a new phase of the virus. So that new phase back then wasn't Delta, it's Delta now, right? Or that new phase was not being driven by Delta back then. But the current phase, Delta, is the dominant variant. Anyway, so this Tufton warned that the country was in a new phase of the virus, which as at Monday, and this would have been Monday the 31st of August last year, as at Monday the 31st of August, the COVID-19 had killed 21 people. So a year ago, 21 people were killed or lost their lives due to COVID-19. 21 people. And the number of people infected with COVID-19, confirmed COVID-19 cases a year ago, 2,459. 2,459 confirmed cases, 21 deaths. That was last year, as at the 31st of August. Fast forward, and what do we have this year? Fast forward, and what was 2,459 last year, as at the 31st of August, is now 68,482. 68,482. And what was, sadly, 21 deaths last year, as at the 31st of August. Fast forward to 2021, and sadly, that figure is now 1,549. So those are the numbers. The number of people admitted to hospital, 712, 196 patients moderately ill, 94 patients severely ill, and 40 critically ill. So it's also on the front page of the Gleaner last year this time, a policeman having his hands sanitized before proceeding to enter a polling station on Monday, August 31st. Police personnel, soldiers, and election workers voted 3 days before the September 3 general election. Also on the front page of the Gleaner last year this time, dead heat. Fagan storming back to catch Big Rob online. And that was the constituency of St. Catherine Southeastern, which was previewed. That was one of the stories that did the rounds last year this time. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Is that our next guest, Davin, who is on the other side of the glass there? Thank you. Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. It was all about, yes, COVID-19 was in the news, but a lot of the stories were about election last year this time, because this would have been, well, the publication of the 1st of September, 2 days before Election Day last year. Right, so that is, I think we're going to leave that there for now. We just wanted to compare the stories last year's stories at this time, to give us a sense of where we are. So it's around the same kind of mindset and energy in the air with respect to COVID-19 fears and the spread that was happening at that time as well. But that spread is nothing compared to what the kind of spread that we've been experiencing this time round. All right, so we're going to move on from there. That was hello to Veronica. Veronica says, good afternoon, sir. Oh, yes, I read that already. Thank you, Veronica. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester. We see you as well. Thank you. Good afternoon to you. And Pearl Brown, Miss Pearl says, Sir D, I am right from Newmarket, not living there anymore. Sorry for all living there. Going to call my family down there now. OMG, says Miss Pearl. We hope people are keeping safe, the conditions notwithstanding. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Pearl. And another of the stories. Well, the Observer Online is carrying the rising waters in Newmarket. Again, that's a perennial situation. Is there a permanent fix? Permanent fix needs to be found for that. Here's a picture. A couple of photos come from St. Thomas. Couple of photos. And yes, we are seeing people. No social distancing, says the caption, is observed as a group gathers around Prime Minister Andrew Holness during his visit to one of several vaccination centers in St. Thomas. So the pictures are coming in now from that activity. And just as has been said and has been read and expected, people swarming around, everybody taking out their cameras, videotaping the Prime Minister and taking pictures of the Prime Minister. And that's one of the reasons why the PNP says the Prime Minister's tour of health facilities is ill-advised. That's one of the stories doing the rounds right now. And just before we take the break and come back with this week's edition of Diaspora Check-In, there's news as well of 800 receiving vaccine at police blitz. The police are reporting that the force's vaccination blitz at the National Police College was a success, with more than 800 people being inoculated. That's the word coming in. We see Glenn calling through now. Glenn, your timing is a little off. We are going to our weekly Diaspora Check-In feature, and we'll see how much time we have after that to fit you in, assuming you're listening, because I see the calls still coming in. Let's take the break and come back with this week's edition of Diaspora Check-In.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Innovation, sophistication, windows and doors, plus so much more. Lowest price guarantee, unique and trendy. Something for every room. Now that's cool. Make your best home anything but ordinary. At Home and Things.
Join Power 106 FM every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:05 p.m. for the Vax Nation podcast. Listen to learn about COVID-19 vaccines and surrounding concerns. The Vax Nation podcast is brought to you by the Private Sector Vaccination Initiative. You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
where you may ask me a question I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Living in the positive.
Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-4112-5. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here, Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday, right here on Power 106 FM.
In the city, too much moderation on the land.
Y ahora es en español, son las 5:28, quelle heure est-il en français, les 5:28. Tiens, TDN le, ou dien cha ba fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. It's a Wednesday afternoon, just after 4:30, and that means time for Diaspora Check-In. And this is where we connect with individuals, institutions, organizations, playing their part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race, to paraphrase our national pledge. And we're happy this afternoon to be joined by the president of the Shortwood Past Students Association, which is a member of the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations based in New York, Mr. Walbert Clark. Good afternoon, Mr. Clark. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm good, sir.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us on Diaspora Check-In on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Also online, the principal of Shortwood Practicing Primary and Infant School, Mr. Rupert McCoy. Welcome. How are you?
And it's a pleasure to be on your program. And good afternoon also to your listeners.
Pleasure to have you on board. Thank you so much. Walbert Clark, can you give us an idea of the genesis of the Shortwood Past Students Association?
Yes, sir. Well, we started back in 30 years ago next month. We started when one of the principals at the school died, and we all got together and at a party, and that's how it started. So we decided to keep it going 30 years now, and we, just giving back to the school.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes school needs help, so we just, give them back.
And Rupert McCoy.
Dervan.
Yes.
Well, I'm not hearing Walbert clearly, but.
Not hearing him clearly? Uh-oh. Let's see if we can maybe boost the volume a little. Or if, Mr. Clark, if you could speak up a little more for us, that would help Mr. McCoy in hearing what you're saying.
All right, Mr. McCoy, can you hear me?
I'm hearing. It's not very audible, but
all right.
Go ahead.
Let's see if how much of this we can manage, or whether we'll have to make an adjustment. Let's see. In the meantime, though, Mr. McCoy, can you give us a synopsis of Shortwood Practicing Primary and Infant School?
Well, Shortwood Practicing Primary and Infant School is part of did a transformational process. Our school started in way back in 1887. Birth in a stable. So we started from humble beginning and developed to be a practicing institution for the Teachers College. And we are now celebrating 135 years. And,
What? I had no idea. 135. Goodness.
Coming next school year. So we have gone through a number of transformations from being an all-age school, primary and junior high school, and now we're back to a primary and infant school. We provide the curriculum for students age 3 to 15, and now we are down to for students age 3 to 12. And we still we're an inclusive institution. We still have our special education unit that is also part of our school.
Excellent. That's very good to know. And Walbert Clark, can you give us an idea of the partnership between the Shortwood Past Students Association and the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations, UJA, in New York?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I joined UJA maybe about 5 years now. And it's an organization with all the high schools and primary schools form this huge organization. And, we, through UJA, we're having this conversation with you because they arranged it for us. Yes. And, we just try to help the school in any way that we can.
And in that respect, Rupert McCoy, can you share with us how Shortwood Practicing Primary and Infant School has been managing since the onset of COVID-19, especially with respect to teaching and learning?
Primary school or Jamaica, we are faced with the challenges of, no devices. Students who are lacking in that era. Students who are from home where there's lacking in proper parental guidance and support. And so we are faced with the challenge of not having all our students engaged. And also in terms of the school, our teachers not having all the tools and equipment to transition into virtual learning that was thrust upon us at the onset of the COVID virus. And so we faced the challenges, and we did what we had to do as a school in terms of training teachers and also collaborating with our past students who have been very helpful in assisting us in securing tablets for students, along with that which we would have gotten from the Ministry of Education through the past program. And so our school have been doing, I would say, quite well in terms of our response to the COVID pandemic and trying to get our students engaged and maintaining engagement in learning.
Yes. Walbert Clark, can you give us the details of that contribution that was made by the Shortwood Past Students Association with respect to the learning devices, the laptops, the tablets?
Yes, sir. Well, the school ran out of funds for the canteen during the COVID. So they reached out to us and we were able to contribute some care packages from LASCO through the user organization. And we were able to do the same thing with the tablets. To donate some tablets, we put together, people donated money, and we were able to buy a certain amount of laptops and iPads for the school.
Right.
Because of the user organization and us collaborating together, we're able to do this for the school.
Yes. And how would you characterize the impact of the support from the Shortwood Past Students Association, Principal McCoy, the impact on the whole online learning experience?
We were able to engage more students who would not be able to be a part of the learning process, and that was significant enough. I mean, if we can get 10 students who would be lost to be engaged, otherwise, we are happy, and that's a bridge that our past students were able to assist us in creating, so that we can have our students online participating in learning rather than being lost. And we are very happy for the contribution that they have made, and they have continued to make to our school.
Yes. How easy was it to make that transition? Was online learning already in effect at Shortwood practicing primary and infant school, or was this a new frontier for the school?
One of the things we would have envisaged in 2017 the need to start a tablet in school program, and so that was introduced at grade 1, and so the students began to interact with tablet devices from then. For us, we can say that the transition was smooth. Our teachers really get on board. Luckily, we had teachers who had expertise in that area, and so within days of the announcement, we got our teachers into training, and so by the following week, they were ready and prepared to move into that transition. And I tell you, our teachers were quite resilient and did what they had to do, and so the transition was able to take place quite easily.
Yes.
In fact, we had over 80% of our population regularly participating in online education.
That's encouraging news. Walbert Clark, what prompted the move to supply food? We all know from we were children, we were told picnic and learn pan hungry belly, and you clearly responded to that need. Can you give us some more on that initiative, please?
Yes, sir. Well, the canteen, due to COVID, the canteen ran dry, and Mr. Lothian reached out to us, and I reached out to the organization, and people donated money. It was like $25 a package.
25 US dollars.
$25 US for a COVID package from LASCO, which feed a family of 3 for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to do that from donations.
Yes.
Or whatever, our own pockets.
Right.
We also have in the Learn tablets that's coming up too. Another 18 tablets going to be going to the school. That's something new, which from infant to grade 6 is going to be learning on these Learn tablets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Hold it there. We need to take a break and come back with more in a moment. This is Diaspora Check-In during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Diaspora Check-In is brought to you by Western Union. More in a moment.
There, so everywhere I go, moderation there. Too much confusion. Too much
You're listening to
moderation.
4:45.
First thing in the morning, a Gucci Plus. Full belly for me, sing, you know it is a must. Give power to the vibe, you know me happy boss. Gucci Plus, me just went road with the heart. Taste great, so me love it straight. Gucci Plus, brand new, try one today. Ready for drink out of the box, same way. Good for big people, and little picky there. Gucci Plus is a must. And me have to drink. Gucci Plus is a must. No one no other thing. Gucci Plus is a must. It no happy me. Gucci Plus in my pocket, are the better thing. Gucci Plus is a must. It's affordable. Gucci Plus.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays, as they set your agenda and break down the issues, and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Too much confusion in the city. Too much
Y ahora es en español, son las 5:13, qu'elle a arrêté en français, les 4, il est 5:13. Tiens, TDN le ou dien cha shir san fen. 13, and it just changed to 12. 12 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Well, clearly, the Shortwood Past Students Association, in partnership with the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations in New York, has been very, very productive in terms of generating resources to support Shortwood practicing primary and infant school. Walbert Clark is president of the Shortwood Past Students Association, and Mr. Rupert McCoy is the principal of Shortwood practicing primary and infant school. The Walbert Clark, in a time of COVID-19, how have you been able to mobilize the resources, the financial and other resources, to support Shortwood practicing primary and infant school?
Beginning of COVID, we started to have like a monthly meeting online with the school and with our past students. And then we could ask questions to the principal and the teachers on a monthly basis, find out what's going on, what they need. And, you know, we interact with them like that on a monthly basis through Zoom. And that was very beneficial for everyone.
Oh, so that is how you were able to raise the funds?
Yes, we were able to reach out to our organization, our past students, some old, some new. You know, not everyone gives, but, you know, whoever gives, we just thank them for giving.
Mm-hmm.
And we send out email, we send out text, WhatsApp, and that's where we were able to reach out to them.
Right. And Principal McCoy, can you give us an idea of some of the either pre-existing or emerging challenges that you're contending with at Shortwood practicing primary and infant school?
Well, we have a school population of almost over 900 students. And most of these children are from the inner city, although we are nested in the affluent community of, Northbrook, the Asham, and, we have to cater for these students who are coming from various communities around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the they have challenges as it relates to nutrition. They have challenges as it relates to transportation. And in a time like this, the challenges as it relates to connectivity is real. And, our parents are having, are also have problem in terms of providing the nutritional needs. So, we are faced with a number of challenges outside of the COVID challenges that we have in terms of, ensuring that our teachers are equipped with the necessary equipment and tools that they need to be able to do teaching and learning online virtually. And so it takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of working together, of partnership, both in terms of teachers, parents, and our friends, partners, that we have outside of school. There's a lot of work, and these are challenges that we have to face and deal with on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
But we're fortunate for the help that we have been receiving.
Yes. And we're happy that Walbert Clark and his team of volunteers of the Shortwood Pass Students Association have indeed been playing their part. How can other Pass students connect with the Shortwood Pass Students Association, whether they're in New York, elsewhere in the tri-state area, elsewhere in the U.S., back here in Jamaica, globally?
Thank you. One of the things over the last year, we decided as a school that we are going to ensure that we use the virtual platform to maintain school as school, right? And so we focused on ensuring that we did a number of activities as if we were face to face. Sports day, spelling, peace day, I set for competition, and so we're able to have these events here. We had them live on YouTube, and that attracts a number of our past students. So we have a website, and a Facebook page, and so a number of past students now are getting on board. In fact, I have been in dialogue with our past students of 1985.
Mm-hmm.
And they are coming on board in terms of assisting us in our preparation now for back to school. So we're getting the word out to our past students now that most of our activities are virtual.
And since you've mentioned back to school, on this the first day of September, how would you describe your readiness at Shortwood practicing primary and infant school without even knowing what announcements will be made by the Prime Minister at this evening's press conference?
Exactly, but we believe as a school we are at least 90% ready. We have been working in terms of putting all the contingency plans in place. So we are prepared for any type of modality, anything that comes at us. So if it is that we are to continue teaching on virtually, we are prepared as school. And if we are called for face-to-face, we are prepared to deal with that as well. So I believe that, in terms of preparation, in terms of the mental preparation of our parents and our students, that is probably one of the greatest challenges.
I see. That will perhaps have to take up another time. But before we go, Walbert Clark, for those who would like to support Shortwood practicing primary and infant school through the Shortwood Pass Students Association, your chapter in New York, what would they need to do?
You could email us at shortwood@yahoo.com, or you can email me at wclarke, CLARKE 569 @AOL.com, or you can call me 631-682-6230. Welcome.
Good. Well, thank you very much for the work. I'm sure you'd also like to perhaps say thanks to the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations and other individuals who would have played a part in ensuring that you were able to deliver the way you have for the school.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Miss Evelyn Gooden and Miss Lorna down there in Jamaica. A lot of fair weather.
Mm-hmm.
And President of usual, Miss Leslie and Samuels.
Great.
I want to thank you for making this connection.
Well, it's been a pleasure. We look forward to catching up with both of you at some point in the future, whether to get an update on Shortwood practicing primary and infant or the work of the Shortwood Past Students Association. Well done to you both, gentlemen. All the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a pleasure. Take care. Listening there to the principal of Shortwood Practicing Primary and Infant School, Mr. Rupert McCoy, and president of Shortwood Past Students Association, Mr. Walbert Clark. And that concludes this week's edition of Diaspora Check-In here during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM, brought to you by Western Union as they continue to move money for better. And let's get ready to wrap today's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you, and humbly ask that you rejoin us tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5, for yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. Till tomorrow, this is Dervan Malcolm wishing everybody a safe and peaceful afternoon into evening, into night. Catch you tomorrow. Take care.
Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. The people them a ball. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone. Moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Too much confusion in the city. Too much moderation on the land. People them a ball. Moderation there. Tomorrow when we gone. Moderation there. Oh, moderation there. Oh, moderation there. I leave from east to west. Moderation there.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.